Alright, and I'm back. And I want to say welcome to everyone who's watching this video. And I want to thank returning viewers. Thank you for watching. I decided to go ahead and play a different mod that I want to try out that I saw on Reddit. This one is called TNO, or the New Order. And pretty much it's like, what if Germany, World War II, Germany won World War II. So I was just curious to play it out, and I've played the old one before. This is like the newer version with the patches and stuff. But I also came across a sub mod, uh, which is called Goring's Wild Ride, and that's what the main focus of this video will be: is playing as the militarist faction in TNO. So I plan on just go ahead and playing that and giving that a try and see how far I can get by playing the militarist faction. Um, Mainly, I think it consists of Goring and Schroeder. So yes, I'm gonna try that out, and let's get right into it. So it gives a little bit of background of the country info. It said, I can't read that top part, but pretty much the German Empire, the Third Empire of Germany. Over the course of two of the most destructive wars in history, Germany lost everything only to gain the world. The Thousand-Year Reich soared over the pathetic allies of the Second World War, crushing resistance against the leader's ambition in both west and east, and marching its army farther than ever had before. Although it came to a great cause, as all righteous wars do, even American resistance was ultimately halted in the wake of nuclear fire. Finally, Germany had won, its honor restored, and its destiny made manifest. Reich wasted no time following his victory. Immediately, it embarked on reshaping Europe in its own image. One of the National Socialism cleansed the bourgeoisie and freed from Leichenbarter in the east finally became achievable, and was alongside the vast Atlantropa Dam in the Mediterranean and the Congo River dam filled by the largest wow, slavery apparatus the world has ever seen. The German prestige project in the following years, the Heer, which is the German army, became the largest, most powerful army in the world, protecting German ambitions from the British Isles, the Russian waste, and the rainforests of Africa, where once bitter infighting shedded brothers' blood, and that now stood the Einspakt, guided by the German Reich in its visionary leadership. It did not take long for it to crumble. In the lifespan of less than a decade, the German economy practically evaporated, followed by the disgraceful West Russian War that brought the Reich to the brink of collapse, and the betrayal of the SS, orchestrated by none other than the nefarious Himmler, pretty much. Had it not been for the quick and decisive actions of the Wehrmacht, the Reich would have collapsed. Still, the damage was done. The experience of the 50s, combined with the rapid slavery and the reality of the world pressing down upon Germany, has utterly destroyed the people's confidence in their government. No longer is the Reich the proud hegemon on the world. It is now merely a shadow of itself, torn by shameless infighting, united only in its fearful future. There's features involved too. Steer Germany's future to four potential contenders, saving or dooming it in the process. You restore, maintain, or expand your hegemony across Europa, or Europe, I should say, excuse, through diplomacy, deceit, and war. Meet the many phases of German politics, align yourself with them, or strive for their ambition. Next page. It goes into a lot. There's obviously different characters. So they give you like a list of the different people, different political figures. You got Speer, Heydrich, and of course the notorious leader himself, H man, pretty much. So there's that. The next page is Schroeder is pretty much field marshal. I believe the reason why he is like the most radical out of everybody in that group is because Japan has nukes, like I'm pretty sure thousands of them, and Burgundy is, I guess, supposed to have nuclear weapons, and then America also has nuclear weapons. And so basically it'll be like the equivalent of waging nuclear war. So yes, Hans Speidel. So seems like Speidel is like someone who's the opposite of Schroeder, of course. So there's that, and this gives us a list of characters. I'm assuming the reason why they're giving us that is because of the submod. That's why we had those 2 extra portraits. So there's like economics and GDP. There's a lot to it for sure. Right now, this is like the GDP. Currently, that's the interest rate or the debt. But I'm sure it's gonna get bigger. There's military doctrines. There's all kinds of stuff to choose. Let's see. You got regional info with Europe. Alright, well, let's get right into it. As you can see, Germany has, this is obviously the homeland, right? Pretty much encompasses Poland, parts of the Baltics, and I guess parts of Belarus. You have Austria also annexed too. So yeah, that's pretty much the heartland of it, and there seems to be different what they call Reich or Reichskommissariats, pretty much puppet states or states that are under control of the German government. So you have one for Norway, one for Moscow, one for Ukraine, and then one for like the Baltics and Belarus, pretty much. And I guess you could say one for Poland. Anyways, let's just get straight to it. There's a unit all the way over here, a Marine division. Okay. Also, there's one for the Caucasus Mountains. So, as you can tell, all the units that we see, they're primarily ours. Let's go to Africa. There's like 3 different ones. Well, there's one for Madagascar, one for, I guess, East Africa, Central Africa, and Southwest Africa. And yeah, pretty much. And then France is also, I guess, an ally. Same with Brittany and England. Although this is probably going to change. So yeah, let's see. Let's go ahead and select a decision or a national focus. But what are they saying right here? Okay, so since we're playing the submod, this is the militarist faction part, right? So Here's the 3 bars: loyalty, power, and influence. It seems like these are the traits too that come with it. So everything's high. The influence is high, power is high, approval is absolute. So strong approval from the state. So we have that. Any decisions? Nope. None yet. They have about 1 million in the Army, 15,000 in the Air Force, 100,000 in the Navy, 3,000 in garrison. And let's see, let's go into select the decision, man over the moon. And let's just go ahead and keep playing this. Also select, we'll go ahead and select infantry weapons. Select anti-tank, that will help in the Civil War. Improve motorized equipment. What about a land warfare talk? There's maneuver warfare, and then there's strategic theorem and combined operations. There's attrition planning and there's offensive strategy. We'll just stick with maneuver warfare doctrine and go from there. We'll go with let's see, there's adaptive so that's there. I feel like they're giving bibliographies and backstories to who could ascend or take the reins of power in Germany, pretty much. But anyways, I'm just gonna go through this. This all seems like almost like the superior firepower version of it. Like there's max planning, there's this one, and there's shock and awe. We'll just go with this for now. Wait. We'll go with this for now, and then we can just research both, and then both sides of that, and then just build from there. So this is what we have in production. We have a couple naval ships, basic artillery, bazooka, MBTs. On January 19th, 1962, Edhard Kollner used a rocket based on the A9-A10 design from World War II as a member of the team led by acclaimed scientist Werner von Braun. Became the first man to ever land on the moon. While the space race had been a struggle between the Reich, Japan, and USA, and while Americans had managed to put the first man in space, the Führer was proud to announce that the German landing firmly plants the Reich as a victor in the competition, and that Kollner, who was photographed as a characteristic doing the salute at the flag as the Earth rose in the horizon, was the perfect example of the hero of Germany. A grand ceremony is planned in Germania to present Kollner and his fellow astronauts with the Iron Cross, and a week of celebration has been declared across the Reich. While the tourist congratulations have been sent from America and Japan, President Nixon has vowed that the United States would be the first to create a permanent mission on the moon, and Japan shortly thereafter announced it would be the first to land on Mars, the final frontier. So wow, the space race has begun. I will say they are based, like the figures, they did their research by basing it off of like who Garen was, Borman, Spear, who what their background was. Yeah, that's true. They actually had some of that stuff, and the space race thing, that's interesting too, given that the space race didn't really happen until like the late 50s or 60s with America and the Soviet Union. Although the Soviet Union doesn't exist, if you look at Russia, it's a bunch of jumbled up warring states. Although that's going to change eventually. Eventually, there'll be fewer and fewer warring states as we get further in the game. So I'm just curious as to which field marshals are available, or generals, I should say. So yeah, there's a lot. I'm not surprised. Given playing base, Hoi, that makes sense as to them having a bunch of generals or even field marshal. I mean, look at that. There's Stauffenberg, who tried to overthrow the leader, I should say, and he's around. That's interesting. I guess he didn't pull it off, but let's select another national focus. There's it says the Adler is launched. Oh, it says there another thing. The city of Wilhelmshaven houses some of the largest and oldest shipbuilding facilities in the entire world. It is awe-inspiring. Dry docks are capable of building nearly anything from the corvette to minesweepers to gigantic battleships. Well, I always think battleships are always cool and dope, but I guess this thing is supposed to be huge, like this shipyard. Have left these docks even when the idea of the German nation was still a new concept. Karl Donitz knows the production capabilities of these facilities as I can't even pronounce that. Oberfelshaber der Marine. He has seen dozens upon dozens of ships launched over the years, but this is the moment which will go down in history. Today, the largest, most powerful aircraft carrier of the Kriegsmarine, Christian Adler by the leader himself, is finally ready for a maiden voyage, a spectacle that will be broadcasted all over the Reich. Admiral Donitz knows what remains to be spoken. The Adler is not the last capital ship, but it is the last foreseeable future, as the Reich can no longer afford to build new ships. As per 1958 budget, funding has been slashed in nearly all sectors. Ship maintenance and payrolls are all that the Kriegsmarine will be bankrolling for now. The ceremony was lovely, and the leader himself thanked the admiral profusely for his tireless dedication and work, with vague promise spoken about more funding for the Kriegsmarine soon, something that he has done since 1958. Donitz ceremonially nodded when he needed time and offered thanks when appropriated, and dozens of times before. He shook hands with Warren Borman first, and then upstanding gentleman. What he said? He said an upstanding gentleman was our Spear, and then Donitz wondered what Gorman would be considered. The man was looking surprisingly spry as well. Last but not least was Heydrich, cold, clammy, and a blonde butcher. The admiral glanced back over to the leader, who had blabbered to his aide. He was getting old, and old age was not treating him kindly. And he said, Donetsk pushed out, pushed throughout his head. He was a Navy man first and foremost in the politics of those four schemers. Speaking of which, I wonder how much of a Navy, that's the Air Force, but 160 CAS planes, 280 fighters, 200 heavy fighters, 50 bombers. Not really much of an Air Force, especially coming from a heavy, supposed superpower, military superpower, I guess. So there's 6 carriers, 8 battleships, 13 heavy cruisers, 1 light cruiser, 10 corvettes, and 25 destroyers, 17 frigates, and 59 submarines in total. They're addressing the nation. Today, the world watches as one of the most significant moments of the 20th century prepares to take place almost a week after the leader was shot in an attempt of assassination believed to have been orchestrated by Japan. He today appeared on national television with the necessity to appoint the successor be exposed by the incident. Following the days of the heated debate, he stood before the Reichstag to announce his choice. 4 candidates have been speculated. Warren Bormann, the expert politician, head of the party, is a staunch conservative and believed to be a likely candidate. Also believed highly possible is the militarist Hermann Goering, the beloved uncle of this nation. If the leader is like the father, another name being forth is Albert Speer, one of the leader's closest friends, who has advocated for extensive reform within the Reich. Finally, there have some even suggested naming Heydrich as his successor, which allowed for the hostility finally coming to an end. After a lengthy, sometimes incoherent speech during which the leader spoke repeatedly about the strength of Germany at times, seemed to lose his train of thought. The leader lifted his trembling hand and declared his chosen successor would be. It's kind of like drawing straws from a cup. But anyways, we're going to go with this one, the militarist Hermann Goering. Right? And go from there. So, we can divert infantry equipment, disable mad mechanics. I wonder what that's all about. So let's go ahead and divert infantry equipment, and we'll wait for more PP to build up. And since that's the case, oh, it says that is bypassed already. And it says the leader names Goering his successor following the recent attempt on the leader's life by a suspected Kempelite agent. The pressure upon the leader to name an official successor and for the Reichstag to formally recognize the choice, it has been steadily building. After almost a week of debate and speculation, he appeared on live television from the Reichstag and announced that the Reich is that his successor would be Hermann Goering, one of the leader's oldest allies and beloved uncle of the nation. Goering enjoys extensive support from the old guard and the Wehrmacht, a relationship which many to reject the decision, which has caused many to reject the decision. Speer, Bormann, and Heydrich have all criticized the nomination, vowing to never allow the Reich to fall into the hands of the glory-lusting warmonger. Research for this mod to kind of break down who each of these figures are, their background. Anyways, let's go for Send in the Air. And I'm gonna stop the video right here. I appreciate you making it through this far in the video. Again, I'm just doing this just to see what this mod's all about. That's all. And just go from there. I don't have any beliefs. I wanted to see this because I found it on Reddit and I thought this would be interesting to check out. And same thing with the submod. Found it through Reddit. You could check it out. If you want me to post it, just type in the comment section where to post the mod and all that stuff if you're interested in playing. But yeah, you can definitely Google it. The new order. It's what it's called. It's out there, and just provide any kind of feedback. Let me know what you think, and we can go from there. Anyways, take care and have a great day.